CG Tour is here in Baltimore for the Baltimore Open and the release of Shadows of Innistrad. And we're going to watch our last match here between Femi Badmos and Kevin the Daddy Jones. That's the daddy to you.
How does one get a nickname like that?
It's self-given.
Oh.
Which is truly impressive, isn't it? Because to give yourself a nickname and then to have it stick is really impressive.
Yes. Especially one as ridiculous.
Is it ridiculous?
Ridiculously good.
Yeah. Kevin got to search for a disgusting white bordered land. We are underway here.
That's barely a magic card.
We are underway here in round number 9.
I apologize to our viewers at home.
A Jace here for Femi. He'll cut Kevin's deck from the Evolving Wilds. And it's turn number 2 here.
I didn't even know you could get lands like that anymore.
Oh my goodness, this forest. Ugh. Do we have another match? We're going to bring you. This is a lot to take on. Sylvan Advocate here from Kevin. It's just hard in the eyes for the viewers, I think. People claim they play white bordered lands because they're easy to find when you're searching. Whatever. It's not a good reason. Here's a painful truth.
Yeah, not good enough.
No.
All right.
Femi's going to take a lot from this, but very powerful, especially on this board.
Yeah, he's on the play. He already has Jace on the board. It's going to give him a little more card selection when he starts looting with Jace. And the Bant decks don't come out super fast, so he doesn't feel like he's under a ton of pressure yet.
They don't come out super fast, but they can keep pace with a deck like this. We saw this a little bit earlier when Shaheen played against Jim Davis.
Yeah, the turns 4 through 6, when they start doing things like this, they can pull ahead very fast.
Reflector Mage is here, looking to bounce Jace. Femi's going to activate his Jace. He'll draw and discard here. And then that Jace is going to go back to the grip. Now, you might think, how good is a card like Reflector Mage in this matchup? A little bit better than you think. Being able to slow down Jace is actually pretty important.
Yep.
Now, here comes Sylvan Advocate for 2. Note that we saw this Bant Company deck a little bit earlier today from Jim Davis, the current Players Champion. And Jim, working with Kevin, the Jessups, and some other friends from the Long Island, New York area. It looks like Kevin is actually the one who kind of came up with this deck that they're both having success with.
And it looked good when we saw it earlier.
Yeah, it really did.
Tireless Tracker.
That card's the real deal.
A real all-star in that deck.
It's a Port Town, reveal Sunken Hollow. What's the follow-up here for Badmos? It's a Languish. That'll clear up everything.
And this is important for him to deal with the threats as they come along and not try to have a Languish be a 4-for-1 or a 5-for-1. You know, just he's got plenty of card advantage in his deck. He's going to look at lots of cards. He has Jace. He has some counter spells. Don't get too far behind.
Kevin might be thinking Jace, maybe Nissa here. Tough to say. I think he's going to go with Nissa. That will allow him to search up a forest.
Another beautiful land coming.
Oh, hopefully it's black-bordered. Ugh. There's basic forest. And now he's going to go get himself an Evolving Wilds. That's the land he's going to search up, which means
another beautiful land. Yeah.
Yeah. Basic Plains, the weapon of choice. I'm going to have to talk to Kevin about this after the match. This might be on purpose to put us on tilt here in the booth.
It's working.
Yeah. Badmos will be moving to his turn. It's his 5th turn of the game.
I'm nearly falling out of my chair. I am that tilted.
That's your only good pun of the day, by the way. Well done. Here's a Sunken Hollow.
You know, if at first you don't succeed,
yep,
try 10 more times.
That's right. don't stop. Here is Jace. It is back. Was bounced earlier by a Reflector Mage. Now we head back Jones's way. Looks like he does have a copy of Silk Wrapped in hand. Taking a look at the graveyard that Femi has over there as to see what he could potentially get back and how to play accordingly. First things first here for Kevin, he's going to start by playing a forest. Might be thinking Jaroka's Command, but right now he's thinking Nissa's going to come into the red zone.
I don't think that was, I'm not sure what the card was that we saw, but I don't think it was a Silk Wrap.
No Silk Wrap? Okay. There's a Grasp of Darkness.
Might have been an Archangel Avacyn.
Okay. Well, Archangel Avacyn not very good right now.
No, the minus power, minus toughness is a good way to go after creatures in this format right now.
And Kevin does have a copy of Bounding Grasses in hand. You see him kind of moving around his lands on what he wants to accomplish here. So here's Bounding Grasses. Going to untap Nissa. And now put a +1/+1 counter here and have Nissa fight Jace. Okay. I'll take care of the Jace problem. Crassus left over, and Jamoka's Command got a little bit of work done there. Jamoka's Command, not another card that doesn't play a huge role against a deck like this.
Always good, though, to get that Jace off the board.
Yeah, for sure.
We've already seen the Languish cast. Don't want that happening again.
And now the Crassus is a 4/4, which is a pretty large creature.
Yep.
A swamp there for Badmos, and now a Linvala the Preserver.
Gaining some life.
Yes, he is. 20 life now here for Femi. So it's all tied up. And Linvala, bigger than the Bounding Crassus.
All the angels finding homes.
Finally. Took long enough.
It did take a while.
And this card is just so good. It's just expensive. You know, like you can't play 4 of these, most likely. I mean, I suppose the format could shape up in a certain way where you could, but I think it's unlikely. But
Well, it's tough because it's legendary as well.
yeah, but it's definitely a good card. There's a Jason, a passing of the turn. And go back Badmos' way. He'll draw a card.
And I doubt that Kevin has a collected company here because he would have cast it when his opponent was tapped out.
Yeah, you think in the main phase?
Yeah.
Okay. Here comes Linvala. Jones going to fall down to 15. The race is certainly on here.
Yeah, the daddy's got to get something going here.
He does. Now, keep in mind, for Femi, it's a collected company is the draw.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Kevin. For Femi, it's Esper Control. It's not Esper Dragons. He does have a couple Dragons in here in Dragonlord Slumgar, but he is Esper Control through and through.
Full on control. Lots of Planeswalkers in this deck. We see triple Sorin.
Yep.
And Obnixilis.
He's got a boatload of spells.
Yeah, a lot of counter spells going on here.
Jace is transformed. The Telepath Unbound has arrived. And now Bounding Crisis will come in. That'll work. Now, will Kevin play Collected Company right now? First, he's going to start by slowing down the Linvala with Jace. Be a 3-power creature next turn. Now I think we're going to see a follow-up Jace, perhaps. Yes, we will. So Vryn's Prodigy and the Telepath Unbound both here.
And Femi with a full grip.
Ojutai's Command.
Yeah, he can do almost anything that he wants. Kevin is actually hoping that Femi uses some counter spells here to open up the path for his more powerful cards.
Yeah. Going to get Jace back, will Femi. I think now is a good window for Kevin to cast Collected Company, but I also feel like he kind of just needs to. But he's just going to wait for now. Badmos will draw.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think I would have just fired off the Collected Company there, gotten a much more significant board presence onto the board, and that was the time when Femi is least likely to have a counterspell in his hand.
Linvala's going to bring Jace down to 3. A Shambling Fence is the land there for Badmos. I think that's it for his turn. Jones is going to try a copy of Collected Company, and a Void Shatter is going to take care of that and exile it?
It exiles it, so Jace can't even cast it again. That's good. That's just good deck building.
And one of the things that we've realized over the course of our 9 rounds of action here, there are a lot of exile effects.
Lots.
Like a lot. Declaration Stone, Void Shatter, there's a ton. I can't even think of them all. And I think that's actually going to play a pretty big role in how Jace is used.
Anguished Unmaking.
Yep, that's another one.
And then all the white enchantments, exile.
Yep, Silk Wrap, Stasis Snare.
Yeah.
There could secretly be a lot of easy ways to process.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yep. Well, we saw some of the early black-white decks that were on camera have Wasteland Strangler. We didn't see any come up during the games, but they were playing 2 or 3 copies of Wasteland Strangler because it's almost a free effect from them. We see Femi with a very heads-up block here. He's going to, quote, chump block with Jace, but then he's going to activate it so it transforms into the Planeswalker.
Yep. Feels like Femi's in the driver's seat right now.
Yeah, Kevin, not a lot of cards, not the most significant board presence.
I'm having some real issues just dealing with Linvala. That's the other thing. or Kevin Jones, a player that we saw in not one, but both of our Players' Championships. Made a deep run last year. A top 8 finisher.
He has a lot of solid finishes.
Yeah.
And what he's thinking about here is deploying Archangel Avacyn right now when he hopes that Femi doesn't have a counter spell or a removal spell, and then shrinking Jace to flash back the command, Jamoka's command. So the indestructible trigger from Jace, from Archangel Avacyn, will allow it to fight the Linvala and live.
There's a Port Town. It's going to enter the battlefield tap. No basic to reveal. Which is either good or very bad for Kevin. Tough to say. If he's not revealing a basic, well, that means he probably has all spells in hand.
Yeah.
Here comes the Shambling Vent, perhaps. And now the beatdowns. It appears both are going to go after Jace. Maybe now it is time for that Archangel Avacyn. Well, at least it's an attempt. No guarantee it will resolve.
Yeah, anything that Femi could have to deal with it, he's still going to have during the end step. So you might as well try to get a good block out of it.
Yep, there's Ojada's command. That'll counter it and allow Femi to draw a card. Now Linvala and Shambling are going to go after Jace. Now Jace is down.
And Kevin left with not a whole lot of board here.
Yep. Badmos' Jace is going to tick up, slow down Bounding Crisis, going to make it a 2-power creature. And Jones with no cards in hand and a 2/4 Bounding Crisis. That's it. He'll attack for 2, going to knock Jace down to 4. Follow-up is a Jace. And he'll pass.
That is close to good.
I mean, it's a step in the right direction, right? Well, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, Badmos has a Sorin in his hand.
That's not good.
He still has his Jace on the board. And obviously Kevin's still in trouble with the Linvala.
Yep.
So, pretty bumpy road here.
To say the least. Sunken Hollow is the land. And I think we're going to see Sorin here in just a moment. Yep, there's the Grim Nemesis. Badmos just has to decide how he wants to tap for it. And Jace down, Badmos will gain some life. This is another one of those spells, and we've said this, I feel like a broken record almost.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of 6-mana spells that are awesome.
Yes.
You just can't play a ton of them unless the format shapes up a certain way. But Sorin, Linvala, Chandra.
Well, and there's a bunch of white cards that are awesome too.
Yeah?
Yeah. If there was a theme today, it's the white cards just seem to be really good right now.
They certainly do. Femi Badmos is going to win game number 1 here over Kevin Jones. That's for control. Up a game here over Bant Company, as both players are going to move right to their sideboard. So we will do the same, and we will start with Kevin Jones and his Den Protector, his Hermit of the Natternulls. A hidden Dragon Slayer, 2 Lantern Scout, 2 Invocation of Saint Traff, 2 Clip Wings, 2 Declaration in Stone, No Child's Command, and 3 copies of Negate. What do you like here, Craig?
So not knowing what his opponent is on, Kevin Jones is definitely going to bring in these Clip Wings, probably thinking that this is a much more Esper Dragons type deck. We know that Badmos only has three creatures with flying in his deck, so he's not as susceptible to that card.
Okay.
But, you know, Kevin Jones probably puts him on some dragons, and he just died to that big angel. So I would definitely see the Clip Wings coming in. Definitely the Negates and the Den Protector are going to help out in the longer games.
On the other side of things here for Badmos, he's got 2 Surge of Righteousness, a Planner Outburst, 2 Negates, 2 Hangerback Walkers, a Transgress the Mind, a Flaying Tendrils, 2 copies of To the Slaughter, 2 Infinite Obliteration, a Dark Petition, and a Virulent Plague.
So we look at Badmos' sideboard here. He's got the Dark Petition and then lots of 1/ofs. And it's interesting because that Dark Petition serves as the extra copy of a lot of these cards that he might want in certain situations, but he doesn't want to draw redundant copies of throughout the game. So a card like Virulent Plague, the first one's very good. The second one probably isn't having much impact on the board. So you only want 1 in your deck. You put a card like Dark Petition in your sideboard, it's like you have 2 that you can draw, but you're only ever going to have 1 in play.
Makes sense.
That being said, the cards that I can see him bringing in, the Transgress the Mind seems good against Kevin's deck. Almost all of his cards cost 3 or more.
Okay.
It's possible he'll want the Negates. He knows his opponent has blue cards, and he's going to bring in some of his own counter spells.
Okay.
So fight that counter war. And outside of that, a lot of these cards, Planar Outburst seems like a very good one.
I think it's okay. I mean, I don't want to say it's slow. I mean, I don't know how much value it's going to get.
It's definitely slow, but Kevin needs to be the aggressors, and he's going to be the person who has more creatures on the board.
Sure. Well, there are the options there for both players as they will sideboard and shuffle up. So we will take a moment to talk about a very popular promotion with Star City Games, thanks to you guys at home, of course, for StarCityGames.com Game Night, where every month we bring you new exclusive tokens and pins, and then we turn them into play mats and sleeves and player bundles for you. For the month of April, and you may have seen us wearing these in the booth, we got our good friend the Slobbering Mile Driver.
I love these.
Yeah, me too. This is one of the most fun parts of my job. I just get to see what the artists put together.
Well,
in the
and
office.
to me, the key to these, they have to be so well done.
Yes.
Otherwise, they're just terrible.
Absolutely.
But you guys execute, and they're so well done.
I can't take credit. That's all brand, my friend. Ray
Sure.
Dill and his team. I don't.
Star City.
Yes.
Star City
As a
executes.
whole.
Yeah.
For May, we've got Manatiri Mentor, and for the month of June, the new one, it's the Otter Spell.
Yep.
StarCityGames.com/Game Night is where you can find all the information for this. And this is, I think you said, a play on Lightning Bolt?
Lightning Bolt,
Lightning
yes.
Bolt right there. That's what that's a pun on. Otter Spell is a pun on StarCityGames.com/Game Night, where you can find out ways to pick up Otter Spell, Mandatory Mentor,
Our
Slobbering Mile Driver.
fans at home might not watch a whole lot of like the Nature Channel or things like that, but otters love lightning.
I understand. Thank you. We'll learn a little bit more
Yeah.
about Kevin Jones right now before we watch him play game number 2, see if he can even things up. The 28-year-old from Kingstown, New York. He's got 8 open top 8s, 1 open win. He got the job done with a very powerful Mantis Rider deck many moons ago. Wouldn't surprise you given his history.
Yeah.
The Eternal Weekend Legacy champion with Blue Red Delver a little while ago. Played college tennis at Pace University as a walk-on after teaching himself how to play. And I'll tell you what, he's built a pretty nice deck here.
Yeah.
Now, win or lose this match, first of all, he's in day 2. You know, he's 7-1. If he loses, he's 7-1-1. But if he wins, he'll be right near the top of the standings here with this Bant Company deck that him and his team from New York put together here for this release weekend.
And he's got to be feeling good being on the play in this game.
I would hope so. That's here's a Sylvan Advocate. We'll go Badmos this way. Badmos with a very dominant performance in game number 1. Made it look pretty easy. We'll see if he can do that yet again. There's a Swamp. This is a Declaration in Stone. Kevin, you're going to get a clue.
And we see Badmos doing what he did in game 1, where he's dealing with the threats as they come along. He's not trying to be super greedy. He just doesn't want to fall too far behind.
That's... Ooh, I love this card. The Duskwalker. I love it. You see Femi's going to take a look at it.
Duskwatch
Yeah, the
Recruiter.
Yeah, the Duskwatch Recruiter. This is one of my favorite cards from this set. I think it helps out. I think it helps green out immensely. And I just like the play patterns it has.
Yes.
A lot to like about this.
Yeah, the abilities line up in a very synergistic way.
Port Town is here. A reveal for the Shadowland is a Prairie Stream, which is a battle land. What's next here for Femi Badmos? He's going to take a look at the Recruiter one more time. What happens if it flips? Well, we can tell you that. It turns into Colin Horde Howler, a 3/3 creature spell you cast costs 1 less to cast.
And in a deck that plays piles of 3-cost creatures, having 4 mana and your creatures cost 1 less going into the next turn is pretty big.
Another exiling effect that's Anguish Unmaking here by Femi Badmos. Going to take care of that for good. We'll have to lose 3 life to do it, but probably worth it.
Yeah, probably the right decision.
Let's see what's next here for Kevin. He was hoping that would live, I'm sure. He does have Eclectic Company, Abounding Crisis in hand. He's going to start by sacrificing a clue. Take a draw step, will Kevin Jones. There's a land. That's timely. It's a disgusting island, but it does work just fine. To allow
Still
him to
taps
play,
for mana.
Yeah, allow him to play a Sylvan Advocate.
It looks like it should only add half a blue, but he still gets the full thing.
Here's a painful truth. Badmos is going to have to tap out this turn, it appears. I'm going to draw a couple of cards here. Let's make it 3 to be exact, at the cost of 3 life. And there's Plains. And pass it back. Over to Kevin. Lumbering Falls, attack for 2.
The coast is clear here for Kevin.
Yeah, if he wants to play Collective Company right now, he can. But it looks like he's just going to wait.
I can kind of see waiting there, this is not the turn that you want to get hit with Languish for multiple threats.
Okay.
Especially when next turn, if he makes another land drop, his Sylvan Advocates are going to be out of Languish range. So there's a reason to be more cautious in that situation.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see what Badmos wants to do this turn. For now, he's just going to play a land and pass the turn back. There's a Bounding Crisis. I do kind of like that Kevin's not casting his Collected Company just yet. Very patient here.
Yeah, he's forcing Badmos into action and then hoping that he's going to have a nice big window later in the game to resolve the Collected Company.
Well, Oshai's Command is going to take care of Bounding Crisis.
He's going to pick another mode.
Yeah, I think he's... Well, we'll see if he wants to gain life or draw a card, honestly. It's actually pretty close.
Yeah. Well, you saw him check the graveyard just in case, maybe there's a dude hanging out in there.
Perhaps Jason's Prodigy in the graveyard, but it's not. Lumbering Falls, yet again here for Kevin. He's playing a lot of those this weekend, by the way, 4 of them.
Pretty good with the Advocate.
Yep. Now, Advocate is a 4/5 at this stage. And Kevin actually has a copy of Oshai's Command of his own in hand.
And the Lumbering Falls is a 5/5. So Kevin wondering, do I want to fire up the falls, get in there for the maximum damage? Do I want to fire off this Collected Company? Do I want to sit on this command? And he goes with attack for the max.
Do you get 9? Pass the turn back, make you react?
Yeah,
I think it's actually a pretty good spot to get in for 9.
9 is a little bit of damage.
Yeah. This will absolutely change the way that Badmos has to play his turns. Badmos does have a Void Shatter in hand right now. He'll start by playing a Port Town, reveal Prairie Stream.
Yeah, I think Kevin's played this game very well.
This is tough. Linvala's here, going to gain 5 life.
Going to gain 5 life, but that's not the end of the world. He didn't get the extra creature out of it. And with Reflector Mage and Collected Company, Kevin's going to get to really come onto this board.
I'm curious what Kevin wants to do. Does he just want to straight up cast Reflector Mage? I think this is a good play to make. You're not going to get to activate Lumbering Falls, but you do get to attack for 4 and then leave up Oshai's Command and Collected Company.
Yep, and with the opponent at 8, unable to replay the Angel, you have lethal sitting on the board for next turn.
Badmos will draw. Painful Truths in hand. Not the time to be casting that. There's the Prairie Stream finally.
No, so this is that spot that Kevin wanted. Badmos has to answer these creatures on the board, and Kevin has mana up to cast the Collected Company.
Linval is a card that cannot be cast, of course, because of Reflector Mage. So that's off the table.
Badmos felt him out. He's like, yep. Maybe?
Yeah, nope.
No? All right.
And even if you could, I could just Oshai's Command it. So you're in trouble multiple ways.
Ooh.
Soren's here. It's a powerful one.
Yes.
Looks like it resolves. It's going to go after the Sylvan Advocate, try to deal it 5. That'll work.
Between Sorin and Linvala, there's a lot of life gain going on in this deck.
Here's Collected Company.
We'll see if the hits here are enough to close out the game.
You're assuming there are hits. All right, there are hits. You got lucky. Bounding Crascus.
That's just good deck building.
That is.
Collected Company and 3 or less cost creatures.
Yeah, it's really well done.
Kevin really found found the secret combo for the format.
He did. Also got a Recruiter as well, so he can keep drawing some cards. I think we're going to see him finish off Sorin here.
Yep.
And then deal some more damage. Oh, he might just be saying, I'm going to go straight towards you. I don't care about your Sorin. But, yeah, Sorin's going to bite the dust.
Kill Sorin, put his opponent back into lethal range.
And transform the Recruiter.
And he's sitting on his Ojutai's Command. He has it all going on right now.
There's a Sunken Hollow. And now there's Linvala. And you mentioned Ojutai's Command. Here's an attempt. And Negate actually, I think, solidifies it. Because that's actually what Kevin has in his hand. That's what he drew last turn. So if we have a counter war, negate back.
Okay.
Yep, that's huge.
Yep.
And that is going to do it. Kevin Jones is going to win game number 2 here against Femi Badmos. Bant Company, as per control, getting ready for The third and final game of the weekend here for SCG Live.
And Sylvan Advocate was the key there.
Yes.
It came down early. It's very cheap. It grew to be a bigger threat that had to be dealt with. It dealt a lot of damage that game. It enhanced the creature land, did it all.
Yep. Just a little bit of early pressure, get the ball rolling,
Yep.
and then knock you over. That's the big plan. And it worked out just fine for Kevin Jones. So we take a look at the sideboards here one more time. Get you an idea what these players are working with here. So you see for Femi, he's got that Planner Outburst. We think that might be in the deck. We know Negate's in the deck right now. Dark Petition, some other options here to the slaughter. And for Kevin's side, is he's going to take a moment to prepare himself for this last and final game of the weekend. Clip Wings, Invocation of Saint Traft, a bunch of other options for him.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see how they do on a sideboard. So in the meantime, we are going to inform you guys about Grand Prix Charlotte. Modern Weekend will be taking place. We'll have Channel Fireball hosting one Grand Prix. Star City Games will be hosting one in Charlotte. You can find out about both Grand Prix right now.
On May 20th through the 22nd, make plans to be part of Modern Weekend and Magic the Gathering history when StarCityGames.com proudly presents Grand Prix Charlotte. Register for the Modern Format main event to compete for thousands of dollars in prizes and receive an exclusive playmat featuring Jace as he pores over the pages of Tamio's journal. Select the 3-day Infinite Challenge package to compete in all challenge events for one low price, while also walking away with the exclusive Jace playmat. Add a premium rewards package and take home a collectible pin, deck box, 80-count pack of sleeves, and playmat, all featuring the iconic Noble Hierarch. Play in select side events for even more chances to win additional Noble Hierarch pins, deck boxes, sleeves, and playmats all weekend long. And don't forget to come say hello to Grand Prix Charlotte's many special guests, including cosplayer Christine Sprinkle and an artist alley full of fan favorites, headlined by guest of honor Rob Alexander. Be part of Modern Weekend and Magic the Gathering history. Register for Grand Prix Charlotte today.
May 20th and the 22nd. It's going to be a fun weekend.
It'll be a blast.
I'm going to enjoy that. Gonna cast myself some modern spells. No idea what I'm going to play. It's a little ways away. Tron's not even that good anymore without Ayavugan. It's probably still fine, though.
Yeah, it's probably fine.
Yeah, it's probably still okay.
Especially if 1 or 2 weeks or a month from now, whatever, people aren't playing it.
Yeah, could be okay. Losing Ayavugan, that's rough. Maybe you go to Blue Tron territory.
Yeah, I was obviously a very significant spell, but if people aren't packing the hate anymore.
Yeah, it could be doable. It could be doable. We'll see. Not sure. I'm hoping it's still pretty good, but things are definitely going to change. That's what's going to make the Invitational next weekend so much fun. I'm really hoping to see some awesome innovations, and plus I get to say suspend Ancestral Vision for the first time in a really long time.
Sure.
So, because that card is very powerful, but it's actually one of my favorite Magic cards.
Yes.
It's good.
It's a well-balanced card.
At times.
No, I think it actually is.
If it's being cast honestly, yes.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah, if it's being cascaded into or kind of cheated, then no.
Even the cascade into it.
Nope, not okay.
Well, the other decks in that format are also doing ridiculous things.
Yes,
In Legacy.
Yeah, I mean you got Charlotte Sultai doing it.
Yes, and sometimes it's just not enough.
That's true. I don't want there to be a deck that cascades into it like consistently in Modern, where it's just too much to overcome.
Yes, I can agree with that.
That's all I ask for. If people have to spend it on one, tick it down, trade a bunch of resources, and then resolve it, I think that's relatively good gameplay.
Yes.
Which is all I ask for. But we'll see. It's definitely a risk.
All right. Here's an off-topic question.
Okay.
And by off-topic, I mean it's actually on topic about the match we're watching.
Okay.
What does the Hermit in Kevin's sideboard do?
Let me make sure I get the name right here, first of all. It is the Hermit of... of all of the card names of the set, this is the most ridiculous one. The Hermit of Natternell?
Natternolls. There it is. It's on the screen for us.
Yep. 3 mana 2. Well, it's pretty obvious what it does, Craig. It's a 3 mana 2/3.
It's right on the screen. Why didn't I just read it?
Yeah, whenever an opponent casts a spell during your turn, draw a card. Beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, you transform it. His flavor text says he hates company, ... which implies there's something on the backside of it. Now, maybe we'll see the backside of it. Maybe we won't. Tough to say. It's up to the director.
I know what the backside does.
It gives the beatdowns. That's what it does.
That's not the backside
No,
of it.
it's not. See? I was just checking to make sure you knew which one it
I
actually was.
appreciate that. You keeping me on my toes.
See, that's... Nope, try again. Getting close.
Yep, we're closing in on
Getting
it.
close. Getting close to the right card. This is testing the directors right now.
I will tell you the back's a little clue.
A little clue?
The backside is a green card.
Smart. Smart. But what does it do?
Whenever opponent casts a spell on your turn, draw 2 cards.
No.
2 dubs.
No. We're going to need confirmation about that if it ever comes on the screen. Lucky. It's the lone wolf of the Natter Knolls. You got lucky there. 3-5.
And the flavor text?
Bill have you for lunch. Wait, hold on. Did I enunciate the right one? Yeah, it's the U. That's not in italics. Got it. Perfect. Femi's going to play his 4th land here. That's a Declaration in Stone. By Morph. Hidden Dragon Slayer down. You can tell the way Kevin sideboarded, by the way, that he thinks he's against Esper Dragons.
Yeah.
And he's not.
Yep.
I don't know if it's going to come back to hurt him or not, but you would obviously have Hidden Dragon Slayer in against them to kill Dragon Lord Ochitai, and that card's not in Femi's deck at all. Wonder how many wins Femi's actually picked up from that this weekend.
Well, especially with Clip Wings being one of the best green sideboard cards, I bet that comes in against them all the time.
Yeah. Sylvan Advocate, a land which is a Canopy Vista, which will allow Kevin to crack some clues. And this is one of the matchups where Declaration of Stone is still good, but Kevin's got plenty of time to crack the clues.
Yeah.
And he's got really good cards to draw, too.
Femi doesn't have a lot of win conditions, and he doesn't close out the games super fast.
Yeah. Here's the Painful Truths. Time for Femi to draw some cards. Pay a little life to do so.
It hurts so good.
Does it? Does it hurt so good?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I like to pay. I'll pay life to draw cards all the time.
It's 3 mana for 3 cards?
Yeah. I got no problem with that.
That card has seen some legacy play.
It's a really good card.
Yeah.
The Advocate in for 2. That's number 5 for Kevin, by the way.
Yeah, another turn. That Advocate will go Super Saiyan for us here.
You'll note a lot of the cards that we've seen this weekend, I think, especially from the green decks, like Languish is good against them, but it's not the end-all be-all.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of interesting from a deck building perspective. You know, I don't want to say never, but I don't think we're going to see a 4-mana like Wrath of God, Planner Clint, or Day of Judgment-esque effect.
Sure, Damnation.
Yeah, stuff like that. I don't think we're going to see that anymore. And Languish is really close, but you know, a lot of the time it's not going to kill Sylvan Advocate.
It's close, but it's so far.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, when it doesn't do it, it does not do it.
Well, and we've seen Kevin seems to understand the matchup. He knows he only needs 1 or 2 threats on the board, force his opponent to react to them, and then deploy 1 or 2 more threats.
Choked Estuary was the land there for Badmos, post Painful Truths. And now, hello, Archangel Avacyn. How are you? You are very powerful.
Average.
Should be an uncommon.
Listen, if I'm paying 5 mana for a creature, it better be at least a 4/4.
Yeah, that's just your general rule.
Yeah.
You saw Femi have to discard an Anguish on making because he's got too many cards in his hand because of all these Painful Truths that he's resolved. Kevin will play land number 6. I think he's going to fire up Lumbering Falls, and 5 + 4 is 9, + 4 is 13. Femi could be dead right now.
Yeah.
And given the mana that he has available, no black mana for removal spell, he is. So Kevin Jones is going to win this match over Femi Badmos. 2 games to 1. Bant Company will take care of Esper Control. And for Kevin Jones, the daddy, as he is so affectionately known, I think he might be the daddy of the standings here at 8-0-1.
Undefeated going
Yes.
into the second day.
Very, very impressive stuff for him.